Now, Lucinda's just got in touch with me. Turns out Lucinda's actually in Wellington at the moment, and she's in one of them quarantine camps, you know, for those corona hoaxes. Lucinda's got some things she'd like to share with you, so everyone please listen up. Go ahead, Lucinda, tell us what's going on.
Hi, I'm on day 7 in hotel quarantine. I'm someone who's very woke about all of the COVID information, wouldn't take a test, wouldn't do quarantine, wouldn't wear a mask. That's me all the way, but I'm a foster carer with 3 young children. Child Protection Australia decided that it was urgent that the children move to New Zealand despite quarantine. And so hence we're here, and I couldn't have the children come here by themselves. I couldn't have them with a stranger in quarantine for 2 weeks. So despite all my passion to fight the system, I'm in hotel quarantine for the children. But I've got to say, it's incredibly degrading. It is dehumanising. It's awful. But the thing, my main concerns around the kids, there's lots of safety stuff in the hotel rooms. They're in here for 22 hours and 50 minutes a day. You mustn't hop on camera, sweetheart. They're in the room, and that's if we get all of our breaks. You get a 40-minute exercise break and a 30-minute exercise break. There was one day they forgot to get us, and there was another day where they cut our 30 minutes down to 15. But the exercise area, and MIQ complaints line just said, yeah, all they have to provide you is an outdoor exercise area. Well, ours wouldn't qualify as outdoors. It's a car park, a closed-in, poorly vented car park that you kind of do a loop between level 3 and 4. And in that car park is the same space that they do the cigarette smoking breaks. So I'm not anti-smoking or anything. I don't mind the smell. But with children, I don't want children exercising in an area where you can still smell cigarette smoke. The other thing is,
get this right? So you're in this room with these kids for 22 hours a day?
Yes, yes. 22 hours and 50 minutes. We're allowed out for 70 minutes. So a 40-minute and a 30-minute break is the only time you're allowed to leave your room. We don't have we've got windows that you can just sort of crack open about a hand width. I'm grateful for that. At least that's something, that the windows open a bit, but there's not much fresh air. It's amazing what you become grateful for. But you know, you need a balcony, we need fresh air, we need sunshine. I said to them, 2 weeks, the kids get no sunshine and fresh air. No. And I said they need grass, they need air. It's so we're basically, yeah, you're absolutely right. 22 hours of 50. They need it, and that's a basic right for people to have sunshine and fresh air, absolutely vital basic right. But that's not something that we are being permitted. So they say, no, you've got your exercise time. Now as I shared, it's a poorly ventilated space that's shared with smokers. The hotel have also admitted in their paperwork that there's a gas leak, or not a gas leak, but there's gas from I think it's a gas pressure exhaust or something like that. So there's a notable smell of gas in the exercise area when we're there. And it's a car park, so there's been cars driving around. Now I've got a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old with me. The 3-year-old the other day was so excited to be out. He's running around. He's has reduced hearing. So he didn't hear us calling out. As we walked out, there was a car idling in the corner of the car park, idling. I don't know how long they'd been idling there. So there's car exhaust. And then he pulled her through the car park, and we're calling out to the 3-year-old who's just excited to be running. Eventually got his attention as the car proceeded towards him. And then, I don't know what this car was doing, but he pulled out in order to reverse into a car park. But he just sat there idling again for a couple of minutes before he reversed into his car park. And again, so there's car exhaust, gas and cigarette smoke in the area where the children are required to exercise, well, the only space the children have outside of their room. And to me, that's I mean,
this is inhumane.
Yeah, it's inhumane. It's absolutely inhumane.
And you've been there now for a week, is that right?
This is our 7th day. This is our
And
7th day.
How many children have you got with you, Lucinda?
3 young children, 1, 3 and 5. And in the hotel rooms, I've already flagged this with them. I've removed all the furniture the kids could hurt themselves on. But my 2 main concerns that remain within the rooms are the 1-year-old can reach the door handles, and the kids don't have much to do. They play with everything in the rooms because they entertain themselves. Yeah, we do some TV and we do colouring and stuff, but kids fiddle and they're bored. They're here all the time. So she plays with the door handles. Now, the doors are really heavy. She couldn't pull the door fully open, but she could pull it open enough to catch her fingers and potentially amputate or injure her fingers. Yeah. That's a concern to me. The other concern is the shower. A nice hotel. It's got a glass sliding bathroom door. It's got a glass screen shower with the swinging door. No capacity to lock the bathroom or the shower door. She, again, amusing herself, she goes straight into the bathroom, into the shower, and she can reach the tap. It's one of those pull taps. So again, she's at risk of burning herself. She's 1. She's curious. She's playing. So I've raised those with hotel, and they have given me 2 options, or an option for each, but they create more hazards. So they've said that they'd be willing to put a sort of a slide bolt on the inside of the door. But their concern is that in an emergency, they couldn't come in to get us if there was an emergency. So potentially that creates a further hazard if we put a slide bolt on the door. It means she can't open it, but they couldn't get in an emergency. And with the shower screen, they've offered to go and get child-safe sort of latches that we could put on the shower screen so that she can't go in there. Great idea, except that the glass shower screens aren't secured at the top, and there's a lot of movement in them. And their greater concern is that if we put a latch on there and the kids knock on it or bang on it or try and push it, the whole glass screen might shatter. So they haven't given us a suitable safety response. So then I've been in contact with MIQ complaints. And I've said this facility is not suitable for children. It's absolutely not suitable. In fact, I believe my belief is it was negligent for MIQ to have accepted children into this location. It's not suitable for children. They can't exercise in a space with fresh air. They've got the 3 contaminants we talked about in their breathing, that they're breathing in while we're down there, and the rooms, they can't give me a solution to keep the rooms safe. So I've requested a transfer. I've just got a reply from MIQ, and they've just said all they're required to do is provide you an outdoor area. And yes, it's uncomfortable for everyone, and we're sorry that it's a difficult
absolute
experience.
Bullshit. We've got acres and acres and acres of land, fresh land in New Zealand, and yet our government can't find one suitable place to accommodate children other than a car park. Eh? Seriously.
Unbelievable.
This is not about a virus. This is about control. How many
100%.
people are in that particular facility where you are, do you think?
So we got here on Tuesday, and on Saturday night they had in the next load of people, and they say they're full. I don't know how big this hotel is. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name or should or shouldn't.
You
but
can say whatever
it's
you
in
like.
Wellington.
Lucinda, are we a free people or are we not?
We are free, absolutely.
Absolutely,
and I'm
just say where you are if you want.
Well, I believe it's called the Grande Mecure. So some people may know how big that is. I don't know. The staff have been really, really good here, but they're not the decision makers. It's the decision makers above that space.
The bureaucrats.
Yeah, absolutely. The individual staff, particularly that army guy who takes us for our exercise walk twice a day, he is brilliant. He's got young children, he's interested in the kids, and he's just fantastic. He looks out for their safety. There was another army guy who was pretty hard on the kids. There's cars in the car park. It's the only place they're allowed to play. And the 1-year-old and even the 3-year-old, they walk up and they look and they poke and they try to open the handles of the car. They're not doing any damage. And he got quite cranky. Keep the kids away from the car. And I looked at him and I said, What
am I supposed to do with them in a car park? Like, seriously.
I said, they've got nothing else to do. And he was really gruff and he's like, well, everybody's in the same boat. Well, Yeah, so that they're all my my main concerns. Look, the hazards down there. There's a lot of hazards in the car park. There's there's sort of these plaster walls that probably for storage. One of them's got a big hole in it at the bottom, which is big enough for the 1-year-old to crawl through. The fences block when you go, because there's a ramp between the layers and there's kind of fences there. One of them's missing a paling and the 1-year-old could fall down that, and it would be 2.5 times her height, so too high for her to fall. And then the other ones she could actually get through. If she had enough time, she could actually squeeze through them. Excuse me, but getting a little bit unsettled.
I can imagine. It was 22 hours locked in a room. I think I would be a little bit unsettled as well.
Absolutely. And I'll come back to the kids' health, because the other thing is there's metal plates, you know, that you sort of, I don't know how to, but basically, and car parks, you often have metal plates and you drive over them and they make the big noises. These grates, a few of them are really, really rusted. And so, of course, at one point, oh, sorry, Bob's crying. I hope that doesn't come through.
This is the reality. This is what it's like to be in a room with 3 children under 5. You've already done a week of it. So let's show the people what the reality is.
It's true. There's lots of crying. There's lots of fighting. We've had ripped wallpaper, broken curtains. But, you know, and I said that to one of the nurses and she said, that's wear and tear with kids. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. We're eating our meals.
To be locked up like that, though.
No, it isn't. It isn't normal. It isn't normal. But yeah, look, in the car park with these rusted plate, they're rusted right through, so they have holes, so then the kids can look through at each other at the lower level. But they're rusted and the kids are wanting to put their fingers and their hands in it. I'm worried they're going to cut themselves. I mean, and there's more hazards down there. Whoops, lost it. But yeah, look, from a kid's point of view, I noticed about 3 days ago, Bub's nappies were nowhere near as wet as they should be. I was getting, because the air conditioning, I've got a dry mouth now. I just it's so drying in this air conditioning and you just can't get fresh air. And we're drinking, come on, Bubba, come on. We're drinking lots of water, although I'm struggling to get enough water into the kids, particularly Bub, because the kids, come for a cuddle, because the kids are not eating. You mustn't hop on camera, darling, remember. Good girl, just stay back there. You can watch me. Being foster kids in care, they can't be on camera. Yeah, so I'm again struggling to keep them hydrated, and even they're eating, the food's all different. They're not used to it. Come on, Quasi. Come on, Bubba, hop up. Hold my hand. Can you give her a cuddle, please? Yeah, so look, and their eczema's flared up. Everyone got a rash on their face on about day 4, and I think that's again stress, the air
dry,
and the air conditioning just drying out, and look, yeah. So I mean, there's lots of things. They're not sleeping as well, but these kids are really fit. So, Bub, here, Cozy. Come on, Bubba. My 5-year-old, she can walk 5 kilometres easily. The 2-year-old, he can walk 2 kilometres. So they're very fit children, and they're just not getting enough exercise to make their bodies tired enough. So, yeah, they and Bub, she's really unsettled.
This is not normal. Okay, to anybody that's watching this, this is not normal. And you're in Wellington at the moment, right?
I didn't know we were handed a boarding pass at the airport. I burst into tears because I was like, we're going on a plane? I said, I've just done a plane, and we were done like 10 or 11 hours in transit with airports and everything. And I burst into tears. I'm like, I've just done a flight with 3 kids who, I've got to say, were brilliant on the flight, but I was done. And then we had to get on another flight, catch an hour flight to Wellington, and probably maybe a 40-minute bus ride to get here. Kids were falling asleep. They were starving. By the time we got here, it must have been 8:30 or 9 o'clock. They were starving, really unsettled. They were brilliant, because then they put us in conference rooms and they gave us a lecture at the airport before we even got on the bus. And then came here, another lecture in the conference room. And then I said, can I just get the kids to bed? They're tired. I've just woken one of them up on the bus. They're starving, And they were, no, you've got to do your health check. So then we had to sit there and do health checks. And by the time we got the kids to their room, it was about 10:30. And then they had to sit down and have some dinner. And I mean, they were exhausted. We left home at 7:30 Melbourne time, so 8:30 New Zealand, 9:30 New Zealand time that morning. And yeah, we got back here at 10. It was such a long day. But yeah, so you're right, we're in Wellington.
And where did you need to be?
Well, our flight was to Auckland. The where I'm taking the children is, the children will be collected from Auckland. So,
You're going to have to go back to Auckland.
Yeah. So what they'll do on our day of discharge release is fly us back there. They are required to do that. So yeah, they'll take us back. I need you there, darling. It's right there.
I will go behind
The viewers that are watching this,
So yeah.
to the viewers that are watching this, do you actually recognise the madness of this situation? Because Lucinda looks perfectly fine to me, and the children certainly sound like they're fine, and they're being confined in basically a 24-hour-a-day air-conditioned room for 2 weeks. Okay, that's actually to induce sickness. Okay, you're complying with that.
100%.
To the people of Wellington,
Yep.
I would say to you, it is time, patriots, that you rise and you get down to the Grande Mecure, was it, in Wellington? And you need to start picketing that facility. That would be my advice to my mates in Wellington. Enough with the bullshit. We need boots on the ground. We're not mucking around with this crap no more. Right?
Absolutely.
Lucinda, would it be okay if I try and check in with you every day?
Oh, look, absolutely, you can. Absolutely. I haven't even told you the laundry saga. Everyone in here is allowed 15 items of laundry per person per week.
And you've got 3 children with you.
So what they keep saying is, well, that's 8 bags. Over 2 weeks, you get 1 per person. That's 8 bags. I'm like, that's 15 items. I do 8 to 10 kilos of washing a day at home.
Yes.
So they said, and I put in an appeal. I said, my circumstances is 3 young children. This is not reasonable. And they got back to me and said, yeah, they wouldn't budge. They wouldn't budge. So because I said, they don't have a table to sit at. The children have to sit on the floor. So we've turned it into a picnic. I was putting down towels, and then the hotel staff gave me sheets and some yoga mats, which was really helpful. But that means the kids are sitting on the floor with their food.
So you've got no dining room table to eat at. Is that what you're telling me? You've got no dining room table to eat at?
No, the kids are sitting on the floor. It's just a very basic hotel room. And so we're sitting on the floor. So of course the kids are dropping food all over them. There's no dining table. There's nothing. It's like there's basically beds in the room. They've got the kettle like you'd find at a typical hotel with no kitchen. There's no kitchen facilities.
Oh my God. So it's just a motel room with tea and coffee making and a little fridge for your milk. And you got 3 kids in that. And what are the meals like? What are the meals like? Let's hear it.
They're hotel meals. My kids are used to eating really healthy stuff. It's, yeah, look, sugar laden breakfast and stuff. It's actually not. I haven't been able to eat. I can't eat.
After day 7 of hotel food, that's gonna play havoc with your bowels, I should think. They're certainly ramping up the abuse, aren't they? The governments around the world. This is the reality happening in Wellington near you. So to all the people in Wellington, what are you going to do about it?
Absolutely. And like you said before, I feel like I'm getting sick. I'm a really well person, and I feel like I'll be sick at the end of this.
Well,
and the plan is
it's not normal to go without vitamin D for 2 weeks. Okay, that straight away get go. You know, you actually don't need to be a medically qualified person to know that sort of shit. That's like the common sense stuff. And after all, Bill Gates doesn't have a medical background, but everybody, all the governments want you to use his vaccine to jab into you so that you can become a mark of the beast, bloody nanotechnology slave to their system. Lucinda, thank you for joining me. New Zealand and Australia. This is episode 1 of this journey. Okay? She's 7 days into this. Now, I want you to ask yourself, 3 kids under 5 in a basic motel room. What part of fair, just and reasonable do you think that is? I need you to lift your voice. I need you to lift your voice. I need every Anzac, both sides of the ditch, to lift their voice. And if you're in Wellington, you need to start a vigil down outside this bloody motel. You need to send a clear message to your government that the abuse ends today. Thank you for joining, and we're going to follow Lucinda's story over the coming week when available.
Amazing, amazing. They're threatening to keep kids in here longer if I refuse a COVID test. So we've
hang on a sec. What's this about? They're going to keep you in longer if you refuse the COVID test? Is that what you just said? Listen up, folks. This episode's not over. Go on, Lucinda.
So this is the current the threat that they're doing is that they will keep anyone here longer who doesn't do a COVID test. So you have to stay up to 28 days. Child Protection have given approval for the kids to have their COVID test. I'm going to, but yeah, if I refuse the COVID test, they might keep me and the children longer. And you can't keep children in this facility longer. So that will be my next part of the saga. Well, no, I'm really positive it'll work out and we'll go on day 14, and I have some strategies I'm working on that I'll probably say offline. But yeah, that they would even consider to keep children for longer than 2 weeks in this facility is very concerning. And this facility is not suitable for children.
Okay, just hang on there. We're going to follow Lucinda's story again tomorrow. Right? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? All that abuse from your so-called government, right? If you don't do as you're told, we're going to keep you locked up for another 2 weeks. We've had enough. We are the 99%, and I am begging you, Anzacs, use your voice. And if you're in Wellington, you need to be down here at this bloody Grande Mecure, and you need to be manning a vigil around here 24 hours a day. We've had enough of the bullshit. Stand up, Anzacs. Use your voice. You are the power. They fear you. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Karen.